Welcome back everyone, and in today's video lesson we are going to look at an example of chords and dyads. And so in a previous video I did mention that you have to be a little bit careful about that term dyad because it's not very specific, and interval tends to be a little bit better of a term there. Let's kind of understand why. So here I have the C major chord, and I have the C major chord, and the C major chord is basically built up of 1, 3, and 5 from the C major scale. So this is 1, 3, and 5. Now, if I just said C dyad, right? So somebody says C dyad. Well, there's something that is definitely positively true, and that means that the root, the R part, has to be a C. Okay? What's not so true is what is the other note? And so in this case, I'd have like maybe a root slash 3 or a root slash 5, and that's saying root added third, root added fifth. And what that is saying is, well, root added third would give me the notes C and E. And down here, this would give me C and G. And so something that I want to make very clear is that if I had the C and E notes, I would actually consider this, and all musicians really would consider this to be C major. They'd go, this is a C major chord. And you go, well, wait a minute, you said a major chord has to have 3 notes, and that only has 2. That is true, but what musicians would look at that as is like an almost incomplete chord. They'd go, well, hey, you've got the 1, you've got the 3, you're just missing the 5. We'll call it C major. That's what musicians are going to do. Now, on the other hand, if you gave me these 2 notes down here at the bottom, just a C and a G, we would look at that as a C power chord. All right. The problem with that is power chords are not major and they're not minor. So this is sort of ambiguous. It's neither or. It's neither one of the two, right? It's neither major and it's not minor. And why is that? Because for something to be major, it has to have, let's say, that E. And if it were to be minor, it would flat that and it would have an E flat. And so you could see that this is missing this altogether. So we can't tell if it's major or minor. The idea here, the conclusion, is that using the term dyad, so dyad is sort of a bad way of explaining something. So dyad is not, it's not very descriptive. And you really want to try and stay away from that term. So if you can, just use the specific interval. So in this instance up here, you might just go, hey, this is a major third. That's probably a better way of explaining that. If you said major third with the root on the C, I would know exactly what you're talking about, but that's not the same thing as saying a C major chord. In the same respect, if you said play a power chord or play a root fifth dyad, that's very descriptive. But if I just said a C dyad, I don't know what that means, right? C dyad could also be C to E flat. That's a C dyad. It's 2 notes that starts on a C. It could be C to, how about, let's do a couple more here. It could be C to B flat. It could be C to B. It could be C to A. It could be C to G. C to G. And you see where I'm going with this. It could be C to G sharp. I don't know. So when you say C dyad, it doesn't tell me anything. What I'd like to know is having more information. And so give me the exact interval that you're talking about. Is it a major third, a minor third? Is it a perfect fifth? Is it a major sixth? That's very descriptive. Or you could say power chord or something like that. Or you could tell me it's a major or a minor chord. Those are very descriptive terms. Dyad is not. So I just want to caution you to stay away from that term. In our next music theory video lesson, we're going to continue to look at how to build chords, including intervals.